Try to explain to a guy the geschmack that it is to be a Yid. What pleasure do they have that comes close to the pleasure that we have on Sukkot, eating indoors in a room when it's raining outside? Ah, such a geschmack. But then I started to feel guilty. I know it's halachically okay, but hashkafically, it started to bother me how much I was enjoying eating in a room on Sukkot. I thought about the Gemara. The Gemara says that at the end of times, the Goyim are going to tell Hashem, you know what? We also want to do a mitzvah. Hashem says, yeah, I'll give you an easy one. Mitzvah kala, called sukkah. They sit in the sukkah. They say, oh, this is not bad. Hashem takes out the sun from its covering. It becomes boiling, schmoiling hot. And then, they leave the sukkah. But they don't just leave. They give it a kick. What does it mean? They all go boom, boom. They all kick the sukkah as they leave. It's hard to understand. But metaphorically speaking, they were insulting the sukkah. And the Gemara says, okay, you're pater, you have to leave, but you have to give it a kick? What's really going on? It's a little bit hard to understand. So I started thinking. And I remember that the only other time I could think of that Hashem took the sun out of the nartika, out of the covering, is by Avram Avinu. Avram Avinu was after the Milah. He wanted to do Achnasas Archim, and Hashem went ahead and took the sun out of the nartika, out of the cover, so that way he won't have anybody to come visit him. But what was Avram Avinu's reaction to being pater? He could have said, well, thank God there's no visitors today. I'm in so much pain. But that's not what his reaction was. He was in pain over not being able to do the mitzvah of Achnasas Archim. And I think maybe this is what we're learning out. When Avram Avinu was pater because of the sun being removed from the cover, he showed his inner ratzon. Not that I'm happy to be pater. Thank God I don't have to eat in the sukkah. Thank God I'm pater from this mitzvah. I'm so happy, I'm so relieved. No, Avram Avinu, who represents every Yid, is upset when we can't fulfill a mitzvah to have dveikus with Hashem. Every mitzvah connects us to Hashem. Whereas the Goyim, what happened when they were pater? They left, but with what kind of a feeling? They said, I'm pater, Baruch Hashem, I'm pater, I don't have to sit outside in the sukkah, I can go into my room and I can eat. That was the biyut, that was the kick, that was the insult. And that was the test that Hashem said. You want to know what it is to be a Yid? I can give you mitzvahs. Mitzvahs are easy, mitzvahs are fun. You shake the lulav, you eat some matzah. It's not hard to be a Yid, but you really want to be a Yid? Let's see how you feel when you're pater. Do you feel relieved, or do you feel upset because you really want to connect to me? So that's why I feel a little bit upset, a little guilty pleasure over here. That when it was raining outside, I was thinking, Baruch Hashem, I don't have to go and sit in the sukkah. I don't have to be matriach myself to connect. It says that the Shekhinah is in the sukkah, and I was relieved from that. So it looks like I have a lot of work to do on myself. And I think it's not about just sukkahs. We have to think about it. When we go daven, when we do a mitzvah, do we feel like we're pressured? We're doing it like an eved, or we're doing it like a son? Let's work on ourselves. We're doing things anyway. To do it with a tshuka, with a ratzon. I want to serve my Father in heaven. I want to. If I would be pater now from this, I wouldn't be relieved. I'd be upset because I really want to fulfill my duty and it's not just an obligation, it's a pleasure to serve Hashem. That's something which we need to work on. And that's something that really defines who we are. It's a beautiful Nesiv Shalom. It says, Hayom Haras Olam. On Rosh Hashanah we say today is the birthday of the world. Hayom Yamid B'Mishpat, Kol Yitzurei Elamim. Today all creations are judged. And then we say, okay, Im Kibanim, Im Kavadim. Hashem, you decide. If we're like children, if you want to judge us like children, then be like a merciful father. And if we're like slaves, then we're waiting for you to decide. So Nesiv Shalom says, hang on. We know everything is midah keneged midah. Hashem is going to decide whether he's going to treat us like a son or like an eved. No, we decide. Hayom Haras Olam, today is the birthday of the world. Hayom Yamid B'Mishpat, Kol Yitzurei Elamim Im Kibanim Im Kavadim. The mishpat, zeh gufa ha-mishpat, for all of the world, all the good things that we did as Jews. Did we do it like a son that's running to fulfill? I enjoy to please my Father. I want to connect to Hashem. Mitzvahs connects you to Hashem. Or am I doing it like an eved? Im kibanim, if I served God like a child who wants to serve his father, then Kirachim Avabanim, Midah Keneged Midah, Hashem judges us, Kirachim Avabanim. But Im Kavanim, if we serve Hashem like a slave, I'm forced to do it. Ay, Nebuch, it's so hard, it's so difficult. So then Midah Keneged Midah, in Enul Chatzliyos, we get to decide our Avodah. Is it like a son or is it like a slave? Let's all learn from this and decide that from now on, everything good that I'm going to do, I'm going to think to myself, I want to serve Hashem. I want to connect to Hashem through His Torah, through His mitzvahs. And through that, we'll be very different than those Goyim who are relieved when they're pater. Will actually want to serve Hashem. Have a great Yom Tov.